So there are three things that I love the most, and that's basically, I love Mondays, I love New Year's, and I also love disasters. And you might ask me, Tommy, what the heck? And the answer is very simple. It's because these times make for a great excuse and great reasons for people to actually make a massive change in their lives, okay? Whether it's New Year, new me, whether it's, oh my gosh, it's Monday, I gotta change, or whether, for example, something terrible happened and I no longer want to live the way I live, okay? These are great ways and great reasons to actually make a change. So I'm very happy for watching this video. It's all about 2023 and how to go ahead and have a better financial system for when you actually get there and have challenges to actually help you reach it, okay? Now, by the way, challenges help me out a ton because it's kind of like something you actually do proactively. It keeps you engaged and it's kind of fun also. Now, overall, I did title this video easy. Now, to me, easy basically means anything you're actually able to do. But if it's actually easy to do, it also means it's also easy not to do. So that's the overall idea. So you gotta be able to do this stuff, not just for 2023, but for a lifetime. And that's why as you look at these challenges, you will say, Tommy, I feel like I can do a lot more. I can do it a lot faster. I don't want you to do it faster. I want you to keep up the pace for a very long time. And you see people, they're gonna get started, so excited to do crazy stuff, and they make changes, and then boom, 1 month later, they're back to being their old selves because in reality, they did too much. It's better to go slow and steady than to basically just go super quick, get tired, then quit, and then you're right back to zero. That's not what you wanna do. So again, as you watch this video, just do things step by step. There is a reason, okay? It's because I want you to build the right habits over a long period of time so they actually stick. Okay, now as always guys, like this video and top about also subscribe, hit the bell so you get notified because I have more content here on how to invest, how to save more money, more challenges, and also jobs that are out there to actually get you more pay. Now the very first thing guys is, okay, we got to look at exactly what is the real problem. Now when I was broke, I had this massive fear, and my fear was I never wanted to look at my bank account because it was always a gamble. Was it negative today or was it positive? Whenever it was positive, it was a good day. When it was negative, my whole day was ruined. How am I going to avoid this late fee, okay? But at the core, you gotta be able to look at the problems. You gotta be able to look at the debts, the bills, the bank account, all the stuff to figure out exactly where is the money actually going. You don't want to avoid it, okay? Because if you keep avoiding it, you will not solve anything. And remember, more money is not gonna fix it. It doesn't, it never does. If you're watching this video, most likely it's not your first job. You probably had a job before that paid you less, and most likely you were still broke then. I'm being honest because I went through all those things and I know exactly how it works. You make more money, you spend more, and it's the same cycle over and over again. You gotta change your mindset. So what exactly are we going to do for January that's so special? Well, we're going to look at the problem. And the only way to look at the problem is to first say, we got a problem, all right? So we're going to use January as our tracking month. So here's a challenge, a 3-part challenge. First part is, I want you to list right now on a piece of paper in your notes, preferably paper and pen and pencil because it just feels a lot more real when you write it down. I'm kind of old, I know, but you kind of write it down. And you put, for example, here are all of my expenses. Here's my income. Here are all of my expenses. Here's my income. And then I want you to also put on that list, here's all the money I owe. Okay, I owe money to Bank of America. I owe them $20,000 at 5% interest rate. I pay them $300 per month. I want you to write down everything. And then I want you to put it into category, okay? Obviously, debt is a category, income is income. And then as far as expenses, I want you to separate them between a need and a want. My definition is very simple. A need is something you need to live. A want is something you just want, okay? That's simple. Now, when I say live, obviously, in this new age, you need shelter, utilities, groceries, and transportation. Anything, and also medical, okay? But anything outside of those 5 is usually just a want, and I want you just to label it. Label it. I want. Netflix is a want, Spotify is a want, internet is a want, your phone bill is a want. Most of these things are just wants, but I want you to label it. I'm not telling you to cut it off, I'm just telling you to label it. Now, number 2, guys, is Part 2 of this challenge, which is also in January, I want you to write down every single time you spend money. And you might say, Tommy, why would I do that? I just put down my expenses. There they are. But usually, when you subtract your income from your expenses, you usually get a positive number. Well, when you look at your account, it's usually not positive, and you usually don't have any savings because usually you tend to spend more than you actually think, okay? So every time you spend money, I want you to write it down. Hey, I bought some coffee at Starbucks today. Hey, I bought this purse, I bought this shoe, I bought this sneaker, I bought this watch, I bought this, I went to dinner, I did that for an entire month. That's what I want you to actually do. 1 is what you think it is. 2 is what you actually did. And the third part is, I want you to figure out exactly what you can actually do to save money on all of these things. Now, overall, the big items to save money on are usually going to be shelter, utilities, groceries, and transportation. Everything else is not a want, basically not a need. You can basically just cut it off automatically if you're actually willing to. So when I first started off, I basically just cut off every single thing that was basically a want. Everything I kept was basically a need. And you try to save money. So can I move to basically save money? Can I sell my car and buy a cheaper car to save money? Can I basically cut off a few things? For example, one big change I did, which is not really that massive, but overall, I had T-Mobile. I switched over to Mint Mobile. It's unlimited, it's a lot cheaper, and basically it saves me a lot of money. I had cable, and instead of doing that, just have internet. Instead of having Fios, $100 a month, I just have, for example, $30 internet. It works just fine, okay? So it's about figuring out a way exactly how can you save money on all these bills, and then add it up, okay? Add up the whole thing, and what is the total amount of savings you're actually going to have, okay? And then write that down. Now, the second month, which is gonna be February, now by the way, take this plan step by step and don't think about the next month. Just focus on 1 month at a time, okay? Now, February is very simple. Now, if you're watching this video and it's February or March, it just means part 2 of the plan once you completed a full month. It does not have to be January and February, because if you watch this video and it's like mid-month, you're like, I'm gonna start this in January. No, you can start today, okay? Now, February part 2 is basically you put your plan into practice. So everything you said you were gonna cut out, you cut it out. And then you start to track over, for example, your actual expenses again. And if you follow it correctly, you should have money left over. If you don't have money left over, obviously something did not work in your plan and you gotta switch it out. Now, it also means that you could also find different little ways to actually make some extra money. So what that means, for example, I'm gonna do a side hustle, like do some Uber Eats, deliver some Amazon packages, do something on the side to earn some extra money. Now, the idea is very simple. If you lived on X, $100, and now you make an extra $20, you don't spend that money on anything. It's just money for savings to put to the side. So again, get rid of the idea of a raise or more money in my pocket means more to spend. No. Okay, the entire month of February is just to put your budget into action, to put your plan into action, to say, hey, I said I was gonna cut this thing out, I cut it out, I did this, I did that. And one little rule, piece of advice here is just give yourself 5 to 10% of your income. If you're crazy like I am, you can do 1% because I'm crazy, okay? But if you're not crazy, I don't recommend it. You can do, for example, 5 to 10% of your income to spend on some wants, okay? Now, whether those wants are gonna be, for example, like bills, I don't recommend it. I'd rather them be, for example, experiences. Get into the habit of, I'm gonna take 10% of this money, I'm not gonna buy something, I'm going to do something. I'm gonna get a service, I'm gonna do something out there. And get used to having money separate from your actual money, like into a separate account, a separate debit card, something like that. You can have that money on the side, just have that money there to basically spend on whatever you actually like. Get into that habit, okay? But overall, by the end of the month, you should have some savings, and that is going to be amazing. If you don't have any savings, you gotta go back in the plan, readjust some things, or for example, you gotta figure out, hey, I need to move, I need to cut this out, I need to sell this thing, I need to sell that thing, or I need to make more money. It's that simple. Is it easy? No, but it's the truth. Now, the third part of this plan is you need to set up a goal. Now, there are 4 goals and they should be done in order. By this part of this plan, you've had 60 days of consistent habit training. Now, it takes around 66 days for your what is it called, your brain plasticity to actually start changing with these habits and for them to actually become a part of you. That's why I picked 2 months, not hey, do this for 1 week and then you're gonna change your whole life. No, it's 2 months for a reason, because it takes a while to build these habits, and you're changing your patterns, your shopping habits, everything's changing. That's awesome. Okay, so here's the goal you want to do. There are 4 goals. The first goal is you want to become debt-free. Before you start this goal, make sure you save between $500 to $1,000 in case anything goes wrong. The method is very simple. You want to use the avalanche method. That basically just means, remember when I told you write down all your debts and write down the interest rates? You want to pay the debt with the highest interest rate first and put the money in that one, pay the minimum on the other ones, and just basically focus on that one like that. Send all that extra money over there, over there, over there, over there, over there. And then once you're done with one of them, you go to the next highest one, the next highest one. Now, why do the avalanche method? Because this way you save more money mathematically. That's the idea. And why wait 2 months? Because by this point you have the routine down and you also have the habit built in, and you probably have some extra money, and this way you can basically do it automatically. And you have money for fun, so you don't really have to worry about like, hey, I'm so trapped here. No, you can basically just do that and still enjoy your life. Then you have, for example, part 2 of the plan. That's going to be save between 3 to 6 months worth of emergencies once you're done with the debt part. That's going to take you a little while. But what are your actual emergency funds? The answer is calculate what your monthly expenses are, which you should already know by this point. Multiply it by 3, that's for 3 months. Multiply by 6, that's for 6 months. If you have a job that's very risky, I would do 12 months, okay? But that takes a lot longer, but it's worth it if your job is very, very risky. Now, number 3 is, once you're done with that, you fulfill it, you move on to, you want to invest between 10 to 20% of your money into your retirement account. For me, I invest into the S&P 500. That's it. That's all of it. It's that simple. But I have, for example, different plans. So look me up on YouTube. Type in, for example, investment, how to invest money, TommyBryson portfolio, and you will get different portfolios and how to use them and how they actually work. And look that up on YouTube. But just 10 to 20%, whether it's, for example, getting the match in your 401k. Once you get the maximum match, you grab the rest of the money, you put it into, for example, your Roth IRA, and you try to max that out, okay? Then, while you're doing that, investing that 10-20%, 10% is fine, by the way, just no big deal, but you save the rest of the money to save up for a home, and you buy a home using the 33% rule. And that basically means the home should not be more than a third of your monthly income on a 15-year mortgage. And that limits you to a home. To actually buy one you can actually afford. And that's why I say this plan takes a while, because if you do it correctly, it takes you around 10 to 15 years to actually get it completed. But what changes is this: when you hit plan 4 or goal 4, you have no debts, you have a paid off home, and you can keep investing 10-20% forever, and you can basically just enjoy life a lot more, because all the cash you make, you can just use it to buy whatever you want. It's that simple, okay, guys? It's an awesome plan. All right. Now, as always, guys, that is it, okay? Because the last part of this plan, which is 4, is every time you complete one of these goals, you want to celebrate. That's it. You celebrate spending 5 to 10%, but you celebrate with the reason of, I just accomplished something, whether it's getting yourself a cupcake, taking yourself out for dinner, watching a movie, whatever it is, but celebrate. Celebration is a reinforcement of what you're actually doing, okay? And it helps you a ton. So don't just do it because, don't not do it because, Shane, I want to save more money. No, do it because it's also a part of the system. You're building habits, you want to reinforce them, you want to maintain this lifestyle. It's going to take a while, so enjoy the ride, all right? That's the idea, guys. So overall, I hope this plan helps you, and it's not going to be a 2023 plan. It's going to be a lifetime plan, and that's why I say it's better to go slow and not go crazy rushing and then just run out of steam and basically just give up. So comment down below, slow and steady, so I know you made it all the way to the end of the video. On top of that, up here is another video. Over here's my faithful subscribe, and as always, long-term team officially out.